One thing becomes very clear the moment you look at the first details of Yellowstone 6666. This series is going to feel very different from the Yellowstone we already know. While the original show focused heavily on the Dutton family and their fight to protect the Yellowstone Ranch, the story of 6666 seems to shift the spotlight to something even more raw and authentic. The life of real ranch cowboys. The legendary 4-6's Ranch in Texas has been mentioned many times throughout the Yellowstone universe, always described as one of the most respected and toughest ranches in the entire country. In fact, in Yellowstone, we repeatedly heard characters say that if someone wants to become a true cowboy, the 6666 Ranch is the place where it happens. And now, according to the first look at the upcoming series, we may finally see why this ranch has such a powerful reputation. What makes this ranch so fascinating is that it operates very differently from the Yellowstone Ranch. The 4-6's Ranch is not just about protecting land from enemies or fighting powerful businessmen. Instead, it is known for something even more important in the cowboy world: raising some of the best horses in America. Because of this, the new series might focus much more on the daily challenges of ranch life, the dangerous work of training horses, and the intense competitions that exist between rival ranches. But if there's one thing we know for sure about anything connected to the Yellowstone universe, it's that drama is never far away. No matter how peaceful the ranch may look on the outside, there are always hidden tensions, personal rivalries, and dangerous conflicts waiting to explode. Another interesting detail revealed in the early information about Yellowstone 6660 is that the tone of the series could feel much more grounded and realistic. Many fans believe this spin-off might almost feel like a mix between a classic Western drama and a raw documentary about real cowboy life. Instead of focusing only on family power struggles, like the Dutton story, the 6666 series might explore what it truly takes to survive on a ranch where the work never stops and the pressure to succeed is constant. Cowboys here are expected to be tough, disciplined, and completely dedicated to their craft. And that kind of environment naturally creates powerful stories filled with struggle, ambition, and sometimes even betrayal. But of course, the biggest reason fans are excited about Yellowstone 6066 is because of the connection to one particular character who already started his journey in Yellowstone. A character who arrived at the Dutton Ranch as someone inexperienced and unsure of himself, but slowly transformed into a real cowboy through hard work and determination. Yes, we're talking about Jimmy. By the time Yellowstone ended, Jimmy had already begun a completely new life at the 4-6's Ranch, and many fans believe this new series will continue his story in a much bigger way. When Jimmy first arrived at the Dutton Ranch, he was clumsy, nervous, and constantly making mistakes. But under the tough guidance of people like Rip Wheeler and John Dutton, he slowly started to change. Over time, Jimmy proved that he wasn't just someone trying to survive on a ranch. He was someone who truly belonged in that world. And when Jimmy was eventually sent to the 4-6's Ranch in Texas, everything about his life began to shift. At first it seemed like a punishment, a place where Jimmy would simply learn discipline. But surprisingly, it became the moment when his life finally started moving in the right direction. At the 4-6's Ranch, Jimmy discovered a completely different environment. The cowboys there were extremely professional, the expectations were higher, and the work was even tougher than what he experienced in Montana. But instead of breaking him, this experience made Jimmy stronger. He learned new skills, built confidence, and most importantly, he finally found a sense of purpose. Now, with the arrival of the Yellowstone 6666 series, Jimmy's story could evolve into something much bigger than anyone expected. Instead of being the inexperienced cowboy we once saw, Jimmy might now take on a much more important role within the ranch. Some fans even believe he could become one of the key figures responsible for protecting the ranch from outside threats. And if that happens, it would mark one of the most impressive character transformations in the entire Yellowstone universe. But Jimmy may not be the only familiar face appearing in this new chapter. The first hints from the trailer suggest that other characters connected to the 4-6's Ranch could return as well, creating an entirely new group of cowboys and ranch workers with their own stories to tell. And if the Yellowstone universe has taught us anything, it's that every character has secrets, ambitions, and conflicts that can quickly turn a peaceful ranch into a battlefield. So while Yellowstone 6666 may start as a story about horses, ranch work, and cowboy tradition, it probably won't stay peaceful for long. Because whenever pride, power, and survival collide in the world of Yellowstone, things always get dangerous. And this time, the fight may take place on one of the most legendary ranches in the entire country. But Jimmy's journey at the Four Sixes Ranch might only be the beginning of the story, because if the Yellowstone 6666 trailer hints at anything, it's that this ranch is far more intense and complicated than we ever imagined. Unlike the Yellowstone Ranch, where the Dutton family stood at the center of every conflict, the Four Sixes Ranch operates like a completely different world. Here, every cowboy must prove himself every single day. Respect is not given easily, and the pressure to succeed is constant. That means even someone like Jimmy, who already gained experience in Montana, will still have to fight to earn his place among the legendary cowboys of this ranch. And this is where things could become very interesting. When Jimmy first arrived at the Four Sixes Ranch in Yellowstone, we saw him begin to transform. The environment pushed him to become more disciplined, more focused, and far more confident with horses. But now that this ranch will be the center of an entire series, we may finally witness Jimmy stepping into a much bigger role than before. Instead of simply learning from others, Jimmy could now become someone who teaches the new generation of ranch workers. That alone would be an incredible moment for fans who followed his journey from the very beginning. Watching Jimmy go from the most inexperienced cowboy in Yellowstone to a respected figure at the Four Sixes Ranch would truly show how far his character has come. But Jimmy won't be alone in this new chapter of his life. One of the most important people in his story is, of course, Emily. Their relationship started during Jimmy's time at the Four Sixes Ranch, and it quickly became one of the most genuine love stories in the Yellowstone universe. Unlike many relationships in Yellowstone, which were often complicated by power struggles and family conflicts, Jimmy and Emily's connection felt simple and real. Emily understood the cowboy life, she respected the hard work that came with it, and she believed in Jimmy even when he doubted himself. That's why many fans believe the Yellowstone 6666 series will explore their relationship much more deeply. In fact, there's a strong possibility that when the new series begins, Jimmy and Emily may already be starting a completely new phase of their lives together. Some fans even believe the story could begin with them preparing for marriage or building a future at the ranch as a family. Imagine Jimmy trying to balance the responsibilities of being a serious ranch cowboy while also building a stable life with Emily. That kind of storyline would add a completely new emotional layer to the show. Instead of only focusing on ranch work and rivalries, the series could also explore what it means to build a life in such a demanding environment. However, if there's one thing the Yellowstone universe has always proven, it's that peaceful moments never last forever. Life on a ranch this powerful will always attract attention from outsiders who want something from it. The Four Sixes Ranch is not just famous because of its cowboys, it's also one of the most valuable and respected ranch operations in the entire country. That kind of success naturally creates enemies. Rival ranch owners, powerful businessmen, and even land developers could all see the Four Sixes Ranch as an opportunity. And when money and power enter the picture, conflicts are almost guaranteed to follow. This is where the story of Yellowstone 6666 could become much darker and more dramatic. If rival ranches begin challenging the Four Sixes Ranch, the cowboys working there may be forced to defend their land, their reputation, and the traditions that define them. And Jimmy, who once struggled just to stay on a horse, could suddenly find himself in the middle of these conflicts. That transformation alone would be one of the most exciting things to watch in the series. But there's another character whose arrival at the Four Sixes Ranch could make the story even more emotional and powerful. Fans will remember that at the end of Yellowstone, Teeter made the decision to come to Texas as well. Her story in Yellowstone was filled with loyalty, strength, and heartbreak. The tragic death of Colby left her completely devastated, and it seemed like her entire world had fallen apart. So when Teeter arrived at the Four Sixes Ranch, it wasn't just about starting a new job. It was about starting a completely new chapter of her life. At the Four Sixes Ranch, Teeter could find the opportunity to rebuild herself, The ranch is full of strong personalities and tough cowboys, but Teeter has already proven that she can stand her ground in any situation. Her fearless attitude and determination made her one of the most memorable characters in Yellowstone, and many fans believe she could play a much bigger role in the 6,666 series. In fact, seeing Teeter work alongside Jimmy again could create a very interesting dynamic. Both characters have experienced personal struggles, both have grown stronger because of them, and both are trying to find their place in a world that demands toughness at every step. And if these two characters truly become central figures in the new series, the Four Sixes Ranch could quickly become a place where powerful friendships, rivalries, and emotional stories collide. Because while the ranch may look peaceful under the wide Texas sky, the lives of the people who work there are anything but simple. And as exciting as these character stories already sound, the Yellowstone 6,666 trailer hints that something even bigger might be coming. New characters may arrive, powerful figures may challenge the ranch, and unexpected alliances could change everything. In fact, there are already rumors about a few major Hollywood names who might appear in the series, and if those rumors turn out to be true, the world of Yellowstone could be about. But as exciting as Jimmy and Teeter's stories already sound, the Yellowstone 6,666 trailer and first look hint that something even bigger could be happening behind the scenes of this legendary ranch. Because whenever a ranch becomes as powerful and respected as the Four Sixes, it inevitably attracts attention from people who want a piece of that power. And if the Yellowstone universe has taught us anything over the years, it's that success in the ranching world always creates enemies. The Four Sixes Ranch is not just famous for raising incredible horses and producing some of the toughest cowboys in America, it is also one of the most valuable ranching operations in the entire country. That kind of reputation brings prestige, but it also brings danger. One of the most interesting possibilities suggested by early rumors surrounding the series is the arrival of completely new characters who could challenge the authority of the Four Sixes Ranch. These may not be simple ranch workers or small landowners. Instead, they could be powerful ranchers or wealthy investors who see the success of the Four Sixes as something they want to control. In the world of Yellowstone, we've already seen how far people are willing to go when land, money, and influence are involved. Entire families have been destroyed, alliances have been broken, and brutal conflicts have erupted simply because someone wanted control of a valuable piece of land. So it wouldn't be surprising if Yellowstone 6,666 introduces a new group of rivals who see the legendary ranch as the ultimate prize. And this is where the story could become even more intense. Because unlike the Yellowstone Ranch, where John Dutton stood as the clear leader of the entire operation, the Four Sixes Ranch may operate under a different kind of leadership. This means the power structure inside the ranch itself could be much more complicated. Cowboys who work there must earn their respect through skill and loyalty, and decisions are often made by those who have proven themselves over time. That kind of environment naturally creates tension between characters, who all want to rise higher within the ranch hierarchy. At the center of that leadership structure is a man fans already know quite well, Travis, the horse trainer who appeared several times in Yellowstone. Travis is not just another cowboy. He is someone deeply connected to the Four Sixes Ranch, and one of the most respected horse trainers in the entire industry. His confident attitude and strong personality made him a very memorable presence whenever he appeared on screen. But in Yellowstone 6,666, Travis could become far more than just a supporting character. In fact, he might be one of the key figures responsible for protecting the reputation and success of the ranch. And what makes Travis even more interesting is the fact that he is portrayed by Taylor Sheridan himself, the creator of the Yellowstone universe. Because of this connection, many fans believe Travis could play an even larger role in the new series. Instead of simply showing up for a few scenes, he may become one of the main characters guiding the next generation of cowboys at the Four Sixes Ranch. Travis has always been portrayed as someone who understands the business side of ranching just as well as the physical work that comes with it. That means he could be the perfect person to deal with outside threats, rival ranchers, or powerful investors who attempt to challenge the ranch. But perhaps the most exciting rumors surrounding Yellowstone 6,666 involve the possibility of major new stars entering the Yellowstone universe. For years, fans have heard speculation that Matthew McConaughey could appear in a Yellowstone spin-off, and many believe the Four Sixes series would be the perfect place for him to finally join the franchise. After all, Matthew McConaughey has deep Texas roots, and the Four Sixes Ranch itself is located in Texas. Just imagine the kind of character he could bring to this story. Some fans believe he could play a powerful ranch owner who operates a rival ranch nearby, someone who respects the legacy of the Four Sixes, but is also willing to challenge it in order to expand his own influence. If a character like that enters the story, it could instantly create one of the most intense rivalries the Yellowstone universe has ever seen, because someone like Jimmy, who is still building his reputation, might suddenly find himself facing a powerful opponent who has years of experience and influence behind him. And if that rivalry spreads across multiple ranches in Texas, the peaceful life Jimmy hoped to build could quickly turn into another brutal fight for survival. But Matthew McConaughey may not be the only new face fans could see. Another actor who has been connected to Taylor Sheridan projects in the past is Jon Bernthal. Known for playing strong and intense characters, Jon Bernthal could fit perfectly into the world of Yellowstone 6666. Many fans imagine him as a tough ranch foreman, or even Travis's right-hand man, someone responsible for handling the most dangerous problems that arise around the ranch. A character like that would bring a completely different energy to the show, especially if conflicts between ranches begin to escalate. Just imagine a moment where powerful new ranch owners, loyal cowboys, and ambitious newcomers all collide at the Four Sixes Ranch. In that kind of environment, every decision could spark a chain reaction that changes the future of the entire ranch. Friendships could be tested, loyalties could shift, and the peaceful traditions of cowboy life could suddenly turn into a battlefield of pride, ambition, and survival. And if these rumors about new characters and powerful rivalries turn out to be true, Yellowstone 66 might not just be another spin-off. It could become one of the most dramatic and unpredictable stories the Yellowstone universe has. But while the possibility of new rivals and powerful characters already makes Yellowstone 6666 incredibly exciting, there is another element that could make this series even more fascinating: the deeper exploration of the cowboy lifestyle itself. The Four Sixes Ranch is not just another location in the Yellowstone universe. In real life, it is considered one of the most legendary ranches in the entire country, with a history that stretches back more than a century. Generations of cowboys have worked on this land, and the ranch has built a reputation for producing some of the best horses and most skilled riders in the world. That kind of legacy naturally creates a very different atmosphere compared to the Yellowstone Ranch in Montana. At the Four Sixes Ranch, the focus is not only about protecting land or fighting powerful corporations. Instead, much of the story could revolve around the daily struggles that define real ranch life: training horses, managing cattle, competing in rodeos, and maintaining the reputation of the ranch are all responsibilities that demand absolute dedication. Cowboys here don't just work for a paycheck, they work to uphold a tradition that has existed for generations. And that kind of responsibility creates enormous pressure for anyone who becomes part of the ranch. For Jimmy, this environment could become the ultimate test of everything he has learned so far. In Yellowstone, we watched him slowly grow from someone who could barely stay on a horse into a cowboy who finally started to gain confidence. But the Four Sixes Ranch represents a completely different level of challenge. Here, every cowboy is expected to perform